We all know that the state of AEW in 2024 is not great, but it had so much promise. Now, I don't know if we're past the point of no return yet, but what could Tony Khan have done in the beginning to make AEW the success we all hoped it would be? Well, that could be answered in 3 simple letters. ECW. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Modern AEW is an absolute mess, and despite a better-than-average showing at AEW All In, the company followed it up with what many are calling the worst Dynamite of all time, drawing a rating of only 691,000 people. In a building that was filled to 11% capacity, a mostly silent crowd sat there allowing every cough to echo through the vast empty space. Of course, it didn't have to be this way. Tony Khan could have achieved success, and most of us wanted him to. More options are never a bad thing, but Tony's biggest mistake from the onset was attempting to duplicate the presentation of WCW and WWE. You can't start on top, even if you are the son of a billionaire. Instead, Tony could have started a grassroots movement in small arenas to slowly build his way up to become a challenger brand. This was the business plan of a small Philadelphia promotion called ECW. Who the hell is talking about things that I own? Trip, I'm talking about ECW and how AEW could have learned a lot from what Paul Heyman did. I'm sure it's not a conversation that interests you. Like hell, I love ECW. You do? Of course. ECW was a viable promotion for several years, and I think there's a lot that can be learned from it. I'm legitimately surprised to hear you say that. I mean, you think back on some of the greatest ECW wrestlers of all time. You had Tommy Dreamer, the Sandman. You sure did. And who could forget former ECW World Champion Rob Van Dam? Actually, Trip, RVD wasn't the ECW champion during the original. Then you had CM Punk. Oh, I see what you're doing here. And former ECW World Champion, The Big Show. Are you talking about the WWE-produced ECW? Of course. What else would I be talking about? The grassroots upstart indie fed that rose from the streets of Philadelphia to create an army of fans and leave a lasting mark on the whole wrestling world with moments that would last a lifetime. Right, like when the Sandman beat up that zombie. No, you're talking about the bastardized, homogenized, terrible WWE ECW, and that wasn't even a shadow of what the original was. And we had a whole conversation about how Tony could have taken from ECW, the original real ECW, in this clip from Tooney Talk Wrestling. Sid in ECW, I feel like, is that on Peacock? I think I want to go back.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. And this is one of my favorite pay-per-views, but mostly because I was there. And we were there super.
Can we see
early.
you in the crowd if we watch the show?
No, but you can see Eric, because Eric during the Taz versus the Dudleys match runs up and slaps Taz's shoulder and gets Devon's blood all over him, and then kept the table fragment as a souvenir. And then because of what Eric did at the end of the night, when we were lost getting home, we're sitting at a traffic light trying to figure out which way to go because GPSs and MapQuest weren't a thing yet. This white Lincoln pulls up next to us. Tinted windows. The windows roll down here. You guys looking for a bridge? Follow me. I know the way. And it was Taz. And
what?
He got us home. And the whole time we were wondering, does he drive like this?
Wait. You were lost. And Taz came out of the night to guide you home like
Taz
a lighthouse?
Up next to us out of the night in a white Lincoln and said, follow me. I know the way.
How did he know you were lost? Just because he's Taz and he just knows all? Like,
just the human suplex machine was also the human GPS at the time. And by the time we got home, we stopped at a rest stop and Dawn Marie and Roadkill were getting McDonald's.
I always wondered if AEW had just played like those types of venues, how raucous their crowd would have been.
Would have been huge.
Totally different story. Totally different story.
You could
very easy to do.
People were clamoring for that ECW atmosphere, and they could have gotten it with AEW, and Tony just kind of let it go because he wanted to emulate WWE instead of. start out as an ECW level thing, be the underground, be the grungy, especially if you're gonna do like death matches and stuff, be grungy, be dirty, be like, you know, look, even though you're not on like a shoestring budget, make it look like you're on a shoestring budget. There's charm
precisely. Yeah.
Well, they thought that they were gonna get the Silicon Valley PWG Hollywood celebrity group, even when they, you know, when they first started playing, they had no real intention of doing house shows. They were going to go to these big arenas. They didn't care if they were going to sell them out, because the mindset was that their fan base was wealthy enough and would follow them all over the planet. And then COVID hit, and then they had to get a little reality boost. And we've still haven't adjusted since, because again, for them, they can't fill it. They can't fill these big arenas. If they shrink it down and make it a more intimate experience,
but you can't go backward now, because now if you go backward, it looks like, they're dying.
Yep. Well, again, was it NXT Black and Gold for a little while there, captured that the ECW spirit. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't the same thing, but it captured that spirit of you know, we're all in this. This is our show. And I think AEW could have done that if they had just been a little smarter.
Yeah.
If they not had, you know, they should have just searched television deals later, build their audience, build their core, and then grow from there. Show people like you're worth watching.
Yeah. ECW was the epitome of what I don't even want to say but like right below a mainstream wrestling product can be and should be. Really, kind of that anti-establishment. You want the crowd to be, you know, you want the crowd to be into the company just as much as they are into the wrestlers and what's going on in the ring, because that's what you're selling, right? You're selling being the underdogs. TNA never really got there. ROH did for a while in the mid 2000s, but even like CZW, XPW, those guys never really figured it out, because all they're able to do is kind of give the big spots and do that kind of stuff, but they can't emulate that feeling of being a part of something while you're there. And AEW actually kind of does that. Tony's able to get his fans to believe that they are a part of something. But the problem is that he's trying to fill up. You're not going to get 12,000 people like that, right? You're going to get one or maybe 1,500 people like that. And when you're trying to fill giant arenas, it doesn't work. So if you're going, that's why ECW died in actuality. When you really want to break it down, you can say it's all kinds of different things and Paul Heyman mismanaging money, but in reality, it's just they tried to get too big. They can't be that, you know.
Now imagine watching Dynamite in the first year before COVID hit, and they're running the Hammerstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even Daly's Place. A building like Daly's Place, and you see these people packed on top of each other, screaming and going ballistic and pointing and arms in the air, just raucously going out of their minds. That's when you look at something like that and you're like, I have to be there. Now compare that to running a 15,000 seat arena with 3,000 people in it, seeing all the empty seats and being able to hear individual voices scream out something. That's where they go wrong. That's where they went wrong, because now you're like, that's lame. I don't want to be there.
And that's the assumption that we keep forgetting. Like, whether it's 3,000 people or 15,000 people or 1,500 people, whatever's going on in the ring, you've got to leave the people wanting more. And if you don't have episodic anything, no, people are going to leave. People are not going to return.
You have
this Saturday.
Daly's Place could have been the AEW arena, right? And you tore Dynamite and you put Dynamite in buildings the size of the Hammerstein Ballroom, and you would have brought it around. You would have created this raucous atmosphere. And then for your pay-per-views, you do a big arena and you sell it out, because now you've created this, I have to be there. Anything can happen. This is something I'm a part of atmosphere, instead of what we see. And you don't let, and here's the other thing. I mean, the other thing always working against them were guys like the Young Bucks, you know, guys that, you know, he doesn't know how to hide the weakness and accentuate the positive, which was the thing that Paul Lee was the master of. You know, you got the Sandman out there. You're not going to have the Sandman go out there and wrestle a 60-minute Iron Man match. You're going to have him come out there. He's going to cane the crap out of you. He's going to give you the White Russian leg sweep. He's going to do the Heineken Rana, and that's it. We're going home after that. It's going to be a hardcore match.
Right.
You know, guys like the Bucks and Jack Perry. That was the problem with AEW in the beginning, because you're looking at these guys, you know, like, these are weenies. They're doing whatever the heck they want. Man,
in ECW, you had the technical masterclass match on the card. You had the storytelling match on the card. You had the hardcore blood and guts couple matches on the card. You had the high flying lucha libre style matches. You had the strong style matches, and it was a melting pot. In AEW, every match tries to be everything. And
you had the tongue-in-cheek matches, something that
you had the funny,
the mature crowd. Yeah.
But when every match tries to be all of that, that's when you get Wrestling Society X, which is really the style that you can compare AEW to best. Is Wrestling Society X.
I love Wrestling Society X.
When they would bring like Matt Bourne out as Doink, and then like bump the crap out of him and cut there's no clowns, this is ECW. Like those were the rah-rah speeches that you get behind. Not this bald mustachioed vagina standing out there being like, brr, 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 my family. Brr, 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 brr. Like,
by the way,
it's
Born Again was a fantastic character. Just wanted to point that out. But go ahead.
I did love your Audrey too with a mustache.
He kind of is. No, oh, man, I gotta tell you,
book me, Tony.
Pay me, Tony. Pay me, God, pay me more.
You know what I found out? The ring announcer from Wrestling Society X is working in the Performance Center.
Wait.
Oh, really?
Wait. Pay me or book me. Do you have to go over? Book me. Tony. Book me all night long. That's right, boy. Well, that's a song parody that's getting written.
Marv was like, stop. Everyone shut up. I have an idea.
The muses started going, and you guys were talking, and you were drowning out the muses. So this is how it works. People ask me all the time, how does it work? This is how it works. You all just saw it. Tony Khan could have created something amazing had he just started out small and grew. Instead, he created a pyramid where essentially he started with a large base and then over time progressively shrunk the audience down to the minuscule crowd we have today. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't draw from a promotion that presented main event world title matches like Mark Henry versus Kane versus The Big Show? Stop it. And champions like Chavo Guerrero. Enough. Matt Hardy, Jack Swagger, Kane. You're playing with fire with this title history. Ezekiel Jackson, Bobby Lashley. Oh, hey, who was it that beat Bobby Lashley for the ECW title again? I don't remember. Oh, right. I think it was Vin. Okay, you win. But you haven't seen the last of me. Good. Now, ECW only went out of business because the money dried up. With Tony Khan, that never would have been an issue. It's a shame he didn't start small and give himself room to grow. And that lack of foresight is what got us into the mess we're in today. Well, that and the Young Bucks as EVPs, but that's a story for another day. And that other day could be Tuesday night at 8 p.m. EST on Tooney Talk Wrestling, a live stream pro wrestling podcast where you can interact with me live and make your voice heard as part of the Tooney Town community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooney Town channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!